Yo, what's good? What's going on, everyone? Hope you're having a great day. It's Neff, and today we're going to be looking at the Havoc DH 10.1 tier set. But before we get started, I do want to shout out my Discord and Twitch. There's links in the description to both. Also, if you want to show me some support and show the channel some support, my Patreon is also linked in the description. And if you like the UI you see in the video, it's available for my patrons and Twitch subscribers. Prime and paid subs both work, and you can get my UI installer, my weak auras, and everything downloaded in my Discord. So yeah, thanks. I'd appreciate it if you guys check all that stuff out. Thank you. Anyways, we're just gonna hop right into this. So first, let's just take a look at the tier set. We're gonna be looking at the two-piece and what it does. So the two-piece is all right. It's almost identical to our current 10.0 four-set effect, but it's a little bit worse. What it does is every 175 fury you spend, gain Seething Fury, increasing your agility by 8% for 6 seconds. So the 175 number is kind of weird. They've changed the value of this a couple times already. At first it was 160 Fury to gain the Seething Fury. Then they changed it to 200 Fury to gain it. Now it's down to 175. So I'm going to bring up a couple logs here. These are not my logs. It's the Havoc DH in my guild. Because there's a 99% chance I will be tanking prog this tier. So that's what I've just been tanking on testing. So if you want to see some vengeance videos, let me know. I'm not sure if that's what I'll be playing during prog, but it is a possibility. Anyways, this log here is when the value for Seething Furies was 160 to proc it. Even though it was bugged, it was consistently procking after 140 Fury was spent. So he would do I-Beam, Annihilation, Death Sweep, and on the second Death Sweep, it would proc the Seething Fury, which would only equal up to 140 Fury, right? So I talked to Shatterwreck from the DH Discord, and we both kind of agreed that it's probably like a permanent rolling number for the proc, or you can charge it up before the pull, and somehow he was hitting something. I don't know how he was spending 20 Fury, or maybe it was 40. And it was just, I'm not sure. I'm not entirely sure, but it's either bugged or it's like a persisting through death charge for how much Fury you actually spent to proc the next Seething Fury. But for some reason, it was always procking on 140, like consistently through like every log I've looked at, besides one, where this log here, it procced after he casted I-Beam only. So as soon as we pulled his opener, he did I-Beam, spent 30 Fury only the entire like opener so far, and he proc Seething Fury somehow. So I'm not sure what's going on with the Seething Fury proc and like the Fury spent to actually proc it, but something is definitely weird going on with it, and I'm not entirely sure. But yeah, on Kazara he had a 67% uptime, which is pretty good, but a lot less compared to our current 4-piece. Seething Chaos, which is better and has a higher uptime. You know, currently Seething Chaos has like a 90% uptime, depending on the build you play, and it's even better because it's just a flat 8% damage buff. But I guess Seething Chaos, this tier is like, it's a 4-set effect, and this Seething Fury is only a 2-set effect. So I guess it makes sense for it to be a little worse. But if we just do some quick math, we'll add up his Fury gained, divide it by 200 for each proc, which is 19 procs, multiply that by 6 for the duration of each proc, which is 115 seconds, and the boss kill time was 230 seconds. So with this math, if the proc was 200 per Fury spent, he would have had a 50% uptime on Seething Fury, which is not good, especially compared to our 4-piece currently. But yeah, 200 Fury for one proc is very not poggers. Let's just keep it that way. But keep in mind, this is raid testing, so maybe he didn't have 100% uptime on the boss. Maybe he was testing mechanics or seeing how something would interact on the boss or something. But this is the data that I have, and this is what I'm going to use. But we'll do some quick math again, since they changed the proc amount from 200 to 175. So we'll add up his Fury again, divide it by 175 for each proc of the set effect, which would equal 21 procs, almost 22. Then multiply the proc amount by 6 seconds for the duration of each proc, which is 131 seconds. And I'll use a time percentage calculator, so we have real numbers here. So the buff up time was 131 seconds, boss kill time was 230 seconds, and that equals around a 57% uptime, which again is no good. 175 Fury per proc is not very good. I think they should definitely revert it back to the 160 Fury per proc. But again, this is based off raid testing, and it's not like, you know, we had maybe 5 or 6 pulls on the boss, and we're just kind of seeing different things. So I think, like in a real scenario, I think we can expect to have around a 60 to 70% uptime on Seething Fury at 175 Fury per proc. Just depending on the boss and build you're playing though. Now we'll take a quick look at the foreset effect. What it does, each time you gain Seething Fury, you gain 15 Fury, and the damage of your next I-beam is increased by 15%, stacking up to 5 times. So these values have also changed multiple times. At first, the amount of Fury gained was 20, now they changed it to 15 a week ago, I think. And the I-beam damage buff was initially 20% per stack, then they changed it to 12% per stack, and now it is 15% per stack. So again, we'll go back to the log and check out Seething Potential, which is the I-beam buff from your foreset. This time we'll look at Magmarax, and what we really want to do here is look at how many stacks of the I-beam buff we're getting for each I-beam we use. So at a quick glance, we can see we're going to average around 3 stacks per I-beam with the single target Shattered Destiny build, which will be a 45% damage buffed I-beam, which I guess is pretty good. Pretty good in single target with isolated prey. And you know, obviously it's going to be really good in AoE and like cleave situations. I don't have any means necessary logs, but just quick math, you know, with the any means necessary build, we should be able to consistently get 5 stacks of the buff for I-beam. For sure 4 stacks, but most of the time we'll be able to get 5 stacks for our I-beam, which will end up being a 75% damage buff to I-beam. So with that in mind, you know, with the 4 piece in mind for Mythic Plus or an AoE, or anytime you run the any means necessary build, you're definitely going to be way better off playing Blind Fury rather than Burning Hatred, since our I-beam is going to be doing way more damage. And the Fury generation is pretty close to each other as well. You just generate a little bit less Fury outside of your demonic windows, which kind of sucks, but it's not too bad. So next we'll quickly take a look at a sim provided by Bees in the Demon Hunter Discord. You can see the top bar here is our current gear with our current 10.0 tier set at 92k. Below it is our current gear with the 10.1 tier set at 175 Fury to proc Seething Fury and 15% damage buff for I-beam per stack at 91.1k. And below it, before the new changes to the tier set with our current gear and 10.1 tier set at 200 Fury to proc and a 12% damage buff per stack to I-beam at 89.8k. So basically what the sim is telling us pretty much is that the 10.0 tier set effect is better than the 10.1 tier set effect. This is not considering the item level upgrade from the new raid. This is purely set bonus versus set bonus effect at the same item level. The 10.1 tier set being close to the 10.0 tier set bonus effect, like DPS gain wise, is a good thing, because our 10.0 tier set, because our 10.0 tier set, going from no tier set to the 10.0 one was a 10, or I think it was 11.5%, I believe. It ended up being a pretty good tier set, you know, DPS gain wise. The 10.1 tier set being close to that, you know, is definitely a good thing. And this tier set, you know, DPS gain wise, it is pretty good. So my prediction is we will keep our 10.0 tier set on until we get the complete 10.1 tier set, with at least 2 of those new pieces being from heroic item level. With those, you know, that 8 item level increase on those couple pieces will definitely boost our DPS up past the current tier set. I hope you guys found this video useful. The new tier set is honestly very underwhelming. You know, it's nothing gameplay changing besides taking Blind Fury instead of Burning Hatred with our AoE build, which is very fucking disappointing. With the really boring tier set in 10.1, I was hoping for something more interesting, but this, you know, don't get me wrong, this tier set is not a terrible DPS gain. It's just very, very uninteresting. Anyways, hope you guys have a great day. Make sure to join the Discord linked in the description. And if you like the UI in the video, check out the Patreon and Twitch. Till next time, peace.